Hello, everyone. Hans McCarthy here with Unsilenced podcast with Hans McCarthy and guest Jamie Nepoose. This is episode 5, and I'd just like to give a shout out to my sponsor for help making this possible. Um, Chim's Cabins in Port Albany, BC offers 6 private cabins, sleeping 1 to 5 guests with 1 to 3 beds, all featuring full-size kitchens and dedicated guest laundry. Stay here, travel there. Your last stop before the West Coast, just a short drive to Tofino. Book direct at chims.ca for the best rates. So Chim's Cabin, CHIMS.ca, and Chim's Cabins in Port Albany. So there you go. Okay, I'll pass it on to Jamie. You can introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Jamie Nepoose. I'm from Samson Cree Nation. I've been sober for 4 years. It's going to be 4 years in July for alcohol, and it's been 8 years for crack cocaine. So I just like to talk about my story and about my sober journey and well, yeah, it all started from trauma. My my ex baby mama, yeah, she left me for somebody else, and then from there I split up. I just walked away with the clothes on my back, and then I was living at my parents' house once again, and then I had a pill addiction at that time. I was smoking weed, and I was, sober from alcohol for like 8 years. And then, yeah, I started hanging with, a rough crowd, you'd want to say, like bad influence. So, pills were the gateway into crack and all that. So I was like dealing with, the separation from my baby mama and stuff like that. So yeah, I ended up hanging out and dating an addict. So eventually I started smoking crack. And yeah, it used to be like, every now and then, like every 2 days or whatever. And then started started to get to the point where it was every day. And then, things didn't work out in that relationship. And at the time, I started drinking at pretty much the same time that I started smoking crack. And so, yeah, and then I was, um, I was, live. So I moved in with my crack dealer. So, I would answer the door and whatever. And so, yeah, I was, running errands just to pay for my addiction. So, yeah, and then not too long after that, like I eventually started living at another, how would you say, trap house. And I got involved with like, the wrong crowd, possibly like gang affiliated and stuff. So yeah, I did, and I started to get into, methamphetamine. And then yeah, it was like every day I was smoking like I would have to say like well, more than an 8 ball anyways.
Yeah.
And I remember being up for 7 days on both crack and meth. And then yeah, I started. started to, I tried to hide it from my family, but my family knew, but they never really said anything to me. So yeah, I was just like pretty much just fronting drugs when I didn't have. So most of my welfare check would be going to pay off my dealer. So yeah, my it was like my daily diet. Like start off by, getting high and whatever and just run a few more errands and then, it just like every got to the point of every hour I needed another hit. So back to when I was living at that trap house and like so yeah, there was something going on. So like I went back to that house and then yeah, three individuals just, you know, jump me, stomp me down and really like stomping the shit out of me. So and it was a good thing that the cops were in that enclave. So, they just stopped and then I was ready to leave and then they pretty much threatened that they would kill me if I, ratted out or whatever. So, I just left. So
Yeah.
I just end up at my buddy's house in Erminskin and, he's been my friend for like 20 years and, he let me stay there. And see, at that point, I was like pretty much 3.5 years on drugs and just drinking and whatever. So he let me stay there, and so he told me like, if you want to stay here, I'll help you get back on your feet. But whatever drugs you're doing, I don't want it in my house. And I said, yeah, I understand that. And if you feel you need to get thirsty, and, go drink, you can't come back. So I just pretty much. It's weird how I just quit cold turkey. Like I still had a point in my pocket. So like I held on to that, that little baggie for like about, I'd have to say, about 2 weeks. And then I happened to be in Walmart that one day and I just kept looking at it and I just threw it in the garbage, like, and that is the last time I ever had drugs in my hand.
Yeah.
But I was still dealing with my alcoholism. So and then I met, somebody on Facebook. And then I end up, moving in with her in Edmonton. And then I happen to get into, CDI college. So, I was, doing good for myself. And then I met up with some old buddies on, riding the bus. So I fell off the wagon and ended up getting kicked out. So I had nowhere to go, so I was just partying. I kept drinking, and I was pretty much on the streets in Edmonton. And then it got to the point of, panhandling, like just to get some more booze or whatever. And then I remember even having to sleep in a bus station or, random ATM machines, to sleep on the floor. And yeah, and I was on like 118th, walking around like, all
Yeah.
these crazy places they talk about, like the north side of all places. Like, and I just freak out, like, I'm surprised that I lived through that, all of that, being on the street and, being with pretty much fucking doing drugs and drinking with
Yeah.
people I don't even know. Like, don't know what kind of criminal record they have or whatever. But
Yeah.
it was all about, because I was like bottom of the barrel. I was just like, I was the type of addict that wanted to, OD and die. And then I was the type of alcoholic that just wanted to drink myself to death because I didn't care.
Yeah.
My kids didn't want nothing to do with me. I wasn't allowed to see my grandkids, and there's so much odds against me, and yeah, it's like I just pretty much gave and I gave up. So yeah, I got to the point, and then I was texting with my daughter while I was in Edmonton. So she came got me, and then I was living in Mabio for a while at my late granny's house. But yeah, I was like kind of like sneaking alcohol in the house, and like me and my uncle, all we had were like pedal bikes. So I remember get a little money in my account. I would just go up the hill, get some booze, get some groceries, and go back home.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was doing that for a while, and then yeah, I just end up getting money, so I started drinking again. I got
Yeah.
a big school check. Yeah, so like it was pretty. I find it's weird, but it was easy to quit the drugs. It was just the alcohol that was like I would do good for a while, and then my relapses would start happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just, and then I ended up got kicked out of school. I had to move back to my mom's house in the town site. So yeah, I was just struggling there with my drinking, and then I don't know, I just got to the point like I don't like living like this, living on welfare, drinking up my money, and like like I'm just like I'm young enough to work. Why am I not working?
Yeah.
So I just yeah, I just the hell with this. I'm gonna go get my tickets. So I kept on walking to the Terminskin Mall, and I did my food safe, and then I had to go to the fire hall for my first aid. I did my pro serve and Wimmis, and then yeah, I end up hooked up with a girl that was from here, and she lived in Camrose, and like yeah, I end up falling off the wagon on a welfare day or something. Fell in love on a welfare day. So yeah, and I end up like, moving in with her and
Yeah.
cameras and like, but she didn't let her landlord know. So I was like pretty much drinking all the time. Like I was just a couple blocks from a liquor store. So I was like pretty much drunk every day. And then her landlord was giving her shit. And then the cops came and picked me up, and they had to escort me off the property, and I just was kind of fucked. Stuck in cameras, my duffel bags, and at least I had duffel bags instead of garbage bags. And then, yeah, I didn't get a hold of them. I was messaging one of my cousins on Messenger, and then she said, "Yeah, well, my late cousin Shorty passed away. Like I think it was a year now, last December. So yeah, it's been like a year, but yeah, he let me live at his house, and I end up getting hired at camera. It was like just so I started working and living with him, and I was still drinking at the time too. So like I was like after work, I would go sit at the bar and then pick up on the way home. And my late cousin Shorty, he wasn't a drinker. He didn't allow drinking in his apartment, but I was, still sneak it in. So yeah, so I was just. Then I started missing days because of work, and I just, oh fuck, I better settle down. So and then hold on. And then I forgot I was supposed to work, and I was like walking around, drinking and whatever. And my phone rings, and it's the chef. I'm gonna come pick you up. We need help over here. So, and I'm like half cut.
Oh.
So it takes me to work, and shit, bro. I was spilling sauces, and I wasted a whole insert of mashed potatoes. And then the next day, the chef, Jamie, you're fucked up yesterday. I could smell alcohol on you. And then he goes, like, if you ever fucking come to work drunk again or smelling like booze, I'm gonna fire you. I mean it. And if the executive chef was here, he would have fired you on the spot. So I'm giving you this chance. All right, all right, all right. So I'd come to work drunk. So from there, I just kind of jumped on the wagon, and then yeah, because like I would walk home and then walk by the liquor store. Yeah, I'll pick up a bottle after work, and then when I would pass the liquor store, I just had a hell with it. Too tired and I'll just make it hard on myself if I'm hungover at work. So yeah, and then and at the time I had a buddy is a white boy. His name was Ryan Pasick. So he pretty much was like kind of like a sponsor. And yeah, he just talked me out of drinking and all that. But yeah, but I want to pause that story and talk about see around 2021.
Yeah.
It was my late Masom Joey Deschamps. He's having a Sundance, so I was helping. So I just told my dad that I said, "Hey, I'll Sundance." So I ended up Sundancing for 4 days. So yeah, I wanted to say that yeah, I never took treatment, and it's always been like the ceremony is what I turn to instead of like going to rehab. And so yeah, a lot of those sweats and a lot of those ceremonies really changed my life, and they pretty much helped me realize that this is this is the way we're supposed to be living. And we're supposed to be living our culture because it's booze is not our way. Sweetgrass and that tree outside, that wind blowing, that's our life. That's our way of life.
Yeah.
And that's how my family taught me. And that's what made me realize, because I felt so lost for most of my life, like, being an addiction, like saying I don't belong here, why am I here, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was the culture that gave me strength to, stay sober and just keep moving forward. And yeah, so I'm pretty grateful every day. I wake up, have another day. The Creator gave me another day. So, but anyways, back to when I was working in cameras. So yeah, yeah, my buddy has pretty much helped me be sober, and I just met the guy.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool. But yeah, I still keep in contact with him every now and then.
That's pretty good.
So he's a chef now. He was like a cook when I first started working with him.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and like I got a lot of I got a lot of good training and kitchen experience working in cameras. Like I did like about maybe 20 banquets within that time I was working there.
Oh, wow.
We're talking about like 250 people to 300 at a time. Our biggest event was a cop gala that was like 500 people.
Oh,
So yeah, that's why I love doing kitchen work,
yeah.
because it was the kitchen that saved my life.
Okay.
You know, kept me busy, kept me on a straight and narrow,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's always been the kitchen that like I never thought I would be a cook.
Yeah.
Talking to someone that was too lazy to cook for themselves. But yeah, like my dad's a journeyman electrician, and
Yeah.
he fixes vehicles, and that's the kind of work that I grew up on, and so I just pretty much had to learn a new trade, and this is pretty much the trade I'm doing.
Okay.
So, and then they're having a buffet on Saturday at the casino, so
So now you moved up and now you're helping in the kitchen and you're moving up. You're working in Louisville Casino now, eh?
yeah, yeah. That's I've been there since last June.
Last June?
Yeah.
Is it closer than Camrose to your place? Or is it about the same?
Yeah. It's closer.
Bit closer? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was wondering, I can well, can relate to your story, and I know a lot of people can, and I was wondering, because there's a lot of people out there that struggle with addictions, that you come across. And one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people that I talk to in my family, like my uncles and them, they used to be alcoholics and almost drinking themselves to death and drug addicts, and myself too. I turned to the culture, and that's what helped me. I was wondering, do you have any advice for someone that's going through a hard time that's just in a spot? Like, what would you tell yourself or tell someone that's having a difficult time struggling with addictions?
Is basically just pray, like some sweet grass, and ask the Creator for guidance in this rough time.
Yeah.
And yeah, or it can even go to sweat, take protocol there and ask the guy that runs the sweat, like tell him where you're struggling, and and tell him that you want his help.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how simple it can actually be, but how powerful and gifted it is. Like a lot of elders will tell you real simple, well, go to a sweat, go do this. And a lot of people think, well, is there anything else? Is there anything more? Because the way I see it, when you go to a doctor or rehab, they have hundreds like steps and all these other things. But when you go give protocol and you go do that way, and it really is that simple. Go to a sweat. And my cookum said that I couldn't do anything for my boys because there was 14 of them. There's 10 boys, and a lot of them were alcoholics. She just said I just kept praying, and one by one they came to the sweat, and they eventually sobered up. So that's about it. Anything else you'd like to share? We have about 7 minutes left. If you want to end there, we can. But do you have anything else to share? Or we good? Or
Um, all I just want to say is, like all those people that are struggling with addiction, like if you, it's totally up to you if you want to sober up and change your life, like and do it for yourself. Don't do it for somebody or do it for a job. Do it for yourself first and believe in yourself and like believe you could do this and just when you're struggling, you just go talk to our elders. They'll guide you wherever you're having trouble. And that's probably the best advice I could give you guys.
okay then.
And
Well,
yeah,
I guess
and
we'll
when
end
you do sober up, it's good to stay busy. And that helped me a lot when I was sobering up for the first time.
it. Okay. Okay, I guess we'll end it there before the time limit runs out. I'd just like to thank you, Jamie, for coming on my podcast. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you sharing those words and sharing those stories. I know that it can help a lot of people. A lot of our people struggle a lot, and really appreciate that. And
Yeah.
I'll end it here, and I'll message you on Facebook. We'll end the podcast, and it'll be on tomorrow. I'll tag you in it, okay?
All right, then.
Okay, you have a good evening, bro.
Yeah, you too. Have a good evening.